I got it.
All righty. So thank you for everyone for joining us. Today we have Ryan Hartman of Thanks.io. He's one of the founders, and he's going to get into using mail how to generate more uh, more business because that's something they specialize in. That's a lead funnel you can build, and it's one of the things we're going to talk about. After Ryan's presentation, I'm going to do a little bit on social media and building out lead funnels there, and we'll try to wrap this up and give everyone as much information and value as possible. So, Ryan, if you want to take it from there, introduce yourself and get going.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, everybody. As Will said, I'm co-founder of Thanks.io. I've been an agent. I started selling in Philadelphia around year 1999. So I've been in the business for a pretty long time. When Will invited me to come on and do a presentation about social media, first thing I said was, I have something good, but it's not specifically about social media. It's more about how to convert your online leads and social media sphere leads using this channel that I've kind of lived in for the last almost decade now, direct mail, automated direct mail. So that's the topic. I tend to go a little fast, so you guys just kind of butt in. Will can kind of let me know if I'm going too fast, or if you have questions, just chat them in and we'll get to them. I have a couple slides that just kind of present the problem here, the problem with digital and social growth channels here in 2026. As we all know, it's still very easy and cheap to generate an online lead, real easy. You can go create a Facebook lead form ad. You can go, just buy leads from Zillow. That part right now is fairly easy. But if everybody can unmute, I'm getting an echo back on myself. Um, Everybody can mute up. Yeah, thanks. But every other agent in your market is now using digital and social channels. When I got started, even 5, 10 years ago, some of you guys know, it was a lot easier to be doing digital stuff and not have a lot of competition. People would respond to your phone calls when you followed up and emails and stuff like that. These days it's easy to get lost in the noise and that word slop, the AI slop that's out there. Everybody can create content real quick and do a lot of stuff online. Looking at my own behavior, my family, my kids, and all of us, we have to admit, a lot of the engagements you're getting online are from people kind of doom scrolling, right? They're going really quick. And Even if they engage with your stuff online, they probably are distracted pretty quickly, either by some other content on the platform they're on, or just life. The doorbell rings, phone rings, doorbell. Somebody knocks on the door, the phone rings. Woof. And This is part of the reason why they don't reply when you follow up. Basically, we're all inundated, distracted. And even if we opt in to see a cool house or check our home value online, we're probably gonna forget we did that in about 30 seconds. Just the state of the world. So I have a slide here. It's a little geeky. I assume a lot of you guys on have heard of NLP, neuro linguistic processing, right? If you haven't, definitely something cool to check out. Topic for another webinar. But I have just a quick slide up here, just about different modalities in NLP and basically the different ways that we experience things. So we have visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, 3 bullet points up top. And the core concept here, I think AI helped me write this, but you can't hold a digital pixel. It only enters your eyes and ears. But when something becomes physical, it triggers that kinesthetic door, that modality. It has weight, texture, physical presence, which makes the brain process it as something safe, real, and permanent. So what I'm getting to here with direct mail is that we're going off of this kind of visual thing only seen on a computer or phone screen, and now people are going to be touching and feeling the stuff you send them, but kind of touching and feeling you in a way, right? So the little bullet point down here, sending mail helps you stay more top of mind because it hits a new, different modality. So digital channels trigger the mind, physical channels anchor the body. That's an NLP term, that anchoring. The ultimate pattern interrupt is moving a relationship out of the screen and into that kinesthetic modality. Okay, so that's some geekery, some setup. I'm going to address now some of the common thoughts people have about snail mail, right? Old school postal mail. One, it's cumbersome, and I have little messy arrows pointing to each one. So a lot of you guys have probably got the Avery 5160s going. I don't know if Brett's watching, but I know he's done a lot of manual mail, licking envelopes. When I got started in the business, I would just put my business card in an envelope, send it, right? If I saw an expired that I like, and it took a lot of time. Now, of course, you can do mail online. You're never going to lick a stamp or go buy postage or put postage on a letter. It can all be done online via API. Mail is slow. That is probably not going to change. In fact, it's getting a little slower. The Postal Service isn't getting better at what it does, it seems. So there is a lag period in delivery. But the way to overcome that is if you are mailing consistently, you can expect results almost daily. So for those, there's a couple of people probably watching this webinar over there, in the main office there, who are getting some kind of an interaction almost every day for mail because they're sending every day. So if you send one campaign today, sure, it might be like 10 days before you hear a result. But if you're sending something almost every day because it's automated, you can start to expect that every day or so you are getting some kind of a lead or positive inbound interaction from mail. So that slowness factor goes away. And then it's expensive, right? There is this thinking that hey, mail is expensive, and it can be, but the quality of the leads can be a lot higher. And it used to be that you would have to go spend hundreds of dollars to get a campaign out, so to speak. You can start for a few dollars a day these days with platforms like what I'm going to show you, and it doesn't require big financial outlays. We have campaigns that send one postcard or one note card a day automatically. It is half the price of a cup of coffee or whatever what people like to say.
So
So,
Ryan,
go ahead.
I just wanted to add in here because we have Brett Furman in the room and
Yeah.
he's heavy on mail. And I think it's important people understand the kind of return a seasoned agent like Brett is getting from this. So Brett, you want to share?
Yeah, so you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
So we're seeing returns on each individual piece. Our, open rates running probably somewhere north of 8% for an open rate, which is really good. When I did it years and years ago, I was running probably less than 1%.
Hmm.
So using Ryan's platform has accelerated the response. I'm probably seeing in dollars and cents, probably over $500,000 a year in return on investment easy.
So you'd say like 8 times.
At 8 to 10 times, I'd say return on investment easy,
Okay.
and sometimes more.
Right. So it just
Will,
shows you
it's
that.
Anna. I'd like to add to that because I used to do this mailing for Scott. And with Thanks.io, it definitely was the best return that we have seen in all the mailings that I used to do. So I started doing more manual mailings with him, for Scott. And then we switched to Thanks.io, and the great thing about it is we're able to send these very targeted small mailings that get a large number of scans that then we can turn into nurturing. So it's a return that I haven't seen on other mailings that we have done for him. So we've had a similar experience on the Scott Furman group.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify for everyone, none of us own anything in Thanks.io. This is Ryan's company. We're not here to sell that company, but
Yeah.
if you ever need
Oh,
great help,
sorry.
no,
I
no,
was
no,
just
no, this is great. But if you ever need we recommend, or if you need a recommendation, he's the company we would recommend. However, this is just to show you how effective mail
Yeah.
can be.
Okay. Yeah. I was just giving my experience. I was not trying to sell anything.
So, yeah, thank you guys.
If
And
anyone
I'll
buys, we'll take a referral fee.
sure. And I'll give you guys, there's some competitors who do some stuff similar to what we do, who do different things that we can't. So I'm just thrilled about the channel itself. So not really here to sell more mail. It's just sort of because I've been so entrenched in it, it's the best thing I'm seeing in terms of increasing your conversions, for that online stuff. So as Brett and Anna were saying, they are both of those teams are pretty heavy users of the platform. Brett has been nice enough over the last year to allow me to use him as a guinea pig for a lot of my real estate based marketing. So I am going to show some examples from Brett and from a few other agents now on the screen here. So what should you be sending when it comes to mail? So there is the standard, just listed, just sold cards, which, come on, guys, raise your hands in a minute. You're not consistent enough about. If you're not sending a just listed or just sold every time you have the activity, you probably are leaving money on the table. Even if you send the worst just listed or just sold card, every now and then, Brett will tell you somebody will just call you, just randomly. and say, come list my house. So it's something you have to do because the return is good. I'm gonna check your home value cards is a big one. Golden letters and note cards. I'm going to explain what those are here in a minute. And then we have this amazing monthly market update card that Brett's probably going to get mad at me for because I'm sharing it with some other people in his market. I think you're the only one right now sending this, Brett, but I'm going to share that with everybody as well because it's probably the best thing going right now. Okay, so let's just go over some specific creatives just listed on just listed just sold and a few tips here. Everybody's probably done these already. The structure that I like to use, and we've tried a bunch of things with Brett and other agents, is this idea that we talk about the fact that we just listed or just sold a property. You can see maybe it might be small on the screen here, but on this card, Brett gives a specifics about the final selling price. You say something like this might have an impact on your value. And then to instantly see what a buyer might pay for your house, scan the QR code now. So the biggest mistake I see people making with just listed, just sold is they just like, hey, we listed this house and there's no way to interact. It's like, so what? I can find that information on Zillow, online, anywhere. So you wanna, yes, report the fact that you're active in the neighborhood, but make some kind of clear call to action. And usually we're going with to see what a buyer might pay, check your home value. And then I go with on the just listed, just solds, they can go in either order. You see the PS down here. If you have any questions about this property, your property's value, or the sale of this property in your neighborhood, feel free to call or text me anytime. And Brett, I don't know, how often does somebody call you? Maybe once a week from your activity directly off of just you tell me every couple of weeks at least, right? Off of just listed or just sold. I don't know if he can hear me still.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
That's okay.
do you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
So, I'd say calling at least once a week. And right now, my big problem is the quantity coming at me is very large of fruit flies. Some days we get, 8, 10 responses a day. It's a lot to follow up.
Yeah. Yeah, we're creating a different problem there, and I'll show you guys the card that's doing that. So thank you, Brett. On the just listed, just sold, so you'll get the occasional come listing lead. Typically, we see a 1 to 3% scan rate. And in my world, the scan rate is kind of how we track the success of these campaigns. You see the QR codes appearing everywhere. Every QR code that goes out of the thanks system will be tied to that recipient so you know what's happened and you're notified in real time. And that's the issue Brett's dealing with right now because some days he'll get a bunch of these and it's hard to call them all back at once. But just listed, just sold, 1 to 3% of people generally will interact. If you have a really interesting listing, it could spike and go a lot higher. Second example I want to show is this one we just tested. Brett, you got your first response yesterday, I saw. I don't know if anybody's called you off of this, but this is a coming soon letter. I don't know if anybody here has done this. You ever done this, Will? To let the neighbors know that the listing might be coming. So Will's done it. So I'm just writing to let you know that we'll be listing this property, a little teaser about the property right here. And then if you have any friends, family, or coworkers who might be interested, please call or text me for details. And then PS, there's going to be a theme here. If you'd like to see what your house might sell for in today's market, it automatically merged their address in 91 Russell Road, might sell for in today's market. Scan the QR code at the bottom to receive an instant estimate now. So this is a newish idea for us, but I think it's a really good thing to do, especially on a higher value, a listing that you want to put a little more attention on. So we include the QR code, just check your home value. And then as we talk about the QR codes, just keep in mind that every time somebody scans, you're building an opt-in list of people who are responsive to mail, and the thanks system will automatically create an opted-in list. And that's part of Brett's problem right now is that his opted-in list has gotten over 500 people who are constantly getting mail from him. And it starts to snowball from there. Third postcard type mail type is the check your home value card. It's a postcard that has the recipient's name on it a lot of times. Actually, I didn't grab an example, but we have the ability to dynamically put the person's name on it. In these examples, it says, see what the address might sell for today. The big thing that you're seeing here is that the house on the card is the recipient's home. So that's the Google Street View that's on file. And part of the reason these get such high scan rates and response rates is because it's the pattern interrupt of them seeing the picture of their house. So just a few of these creatives here. These are all very flexible. You can do them however you want. We just have some locked in templates in the system that make it quick and easy to do. This also works really good for absentees. So the Thanks.io system has the ability for you to upload a list of absentees, show the picture of the subject property that they don't live in, but send it to the owner's house. And hey, are you curious about what a home buyer or an investor might pay for your property? Scan the QR code to find out now. So another card you send, this, in my mind, this is again an example of cold farming, generate new leads, just like just listed and just sold, right? So this is new business, not existing business converting. Next type is the golden letter or note card. I imagine some of you guys have heard that term, the golden letter where you send a letter, it basically says, hey, would you think about selling your house if I brought the right buyer, or the right price and terms. So this is an example we ran in Villanova with Brett. Would you consider selling address to one of my buyers if they offered the right price and terms? It comes as a note card in a folded envelope. And then again, the theme, PS, if you want to see a detailed report showing what a buyer might offer, you can scan the QR code below now. So globally, this particular card, I've done it with about 10 agents where we've set it up and we've set it up to go out 1 or 2 cards a day. I think for Brett, we did 2 cards a day for a couple of months. And the global response rate to this is 3.5% on the scan rate. And then Brett, you had a direct listing off of a phone call that I know about. So 2 to 4% reply rates, but the open rates are through the roof, and you can get very targeted about who these go to. The campaigns we're doing are generally going to higher dollar neighborhoods. Brett, what was it, like $1 million plus or $1.5 million plus in your case? So,
Oh, million.
yeah. So you generated at least one transaction that I know about. Cost about $700 to send 300 or so of these, but you didn't spend the $700 all at once. You sent 1 or 2 a day. It was over the fall going into the winter last year for 2 or 3 months, and then generated that activity. And then this particular list, we did follow up with other mail after that. And now I'm going to get to the star of the show in my mind. I have this theory in my head right now that I could probably drop everything tomorrow and only send this one postcard, not have a CRM at all, and just be really good at following up with the people who scan this and probably quickly get to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures in GCI. Even though the market is what it is right now. This card is our monthly market update postcard. It has a theme here, the theme here where we have the picture of the house, but instead of going straight for the home value, we call it a monthly market update. And scan the QR code to see what your house might sell for today is the subheadline. And we got this dude here, this good-looking guy, pointing at the QR code. So we recently started having the agents doing this. Send me a picture, and I just use AI to make them point. Brett, I think you actually took the picture. And it is boosting conversion rates, but I also have to think it's boosting the top of mind status, because what's happening is this card is going out every month to people who have opted into any of the other cards I've showed you so far. So if somebody replies to a just listed, just sold card, if they interact with a check your home value card, all those other ones I showed, they're being added to an opted in list. And then Brett has this going out once a month automatically. And in Brett's case, I'm going to show some numbers, but I think your scan rate approaches 10% on this. It's a little higher than some. So this is the perfect card to send to people who are already in your sphere. If you have, say, your top 10 to 100 transactions that you've done in the last few years, your buyer transactions that you definitely want to make sure you get the listing. This is the easiest automatable way to just stay top of mind, have something show up in the mailbox every month. People will engage with this because they want to see what their house is worth from month to month. So you'll get those repetitive scans and prompts to call people back. And then the other side of the card, I almost skipped this, is automatically written by AI every month. So it just talks about macroeconomic conditions. Sometimes it'll cite a specific mortgage interest rates. It's kind of random every month. Then it'll talk about their local zip code, what's going on in the market. Then it'll give a reason why now might be a good time to sell. And then it has our PS, scan the QR code to see Brett has 4 unique estimates of value for 132 Golf Road with the system he uses for home value leads. So yeah, just to recap, picture of your recipient home on top, on front. Optional is you pointing at the QR code. The messaging includes a reason why now might be a good time to sell. PS is always scanned for home value. And then the big thing that's happening here is that we're treating this as a newsletter. So I know a lot of people want to do newsletters. A lot of people have done Buffini stuff. It can be really hard to put together a creative newsletter every month, right? And maybe it's getting easier now with AI. But in this case, we've got a newsletter postcard that always has a picture of their house, and it gets scanned and replied to like crazy. So I went last week and I said, what are the real numbers on this? I picked the 10 agents out of all our agents who got the most recent QR scans because I wanted sort of a random sampling of people doing this. There were 1,277 scans and 16,000 cards. It's 8% of people, 7.9% of people will get this card and interact with it. And I had numbers on the other side here with Brett. Brett, we sent, this isn't the one, but we sent cold to people who didn't know Brett at all. We sent 700 of these and got 75 scans, which is over 10%. That was a really targeted list, which really surprised me. So your cost per lead, we can get you guys to check out the pricing on our homepage, but call it $80 to get 100 cards out. And if you're getting 8%, 1 in 12, oh man, I'm gonna get lost in the math here, but you're somewhere down between $7 and $10 to get a homeowner to scan your QR to scan this thing and become a lead in your system. So um, I don't know. Just to cap this one off, if you don't do anything here today, I'd recommend doing this one at least to your sphere, even if it's only 10 people you want to try it out on. And you'll see within a few weeks of starting to send it, you will start getting interaction from that. So almost done here with the examples, and then I'll stop talking and we can, get into some questions because I'm sure I fire hosed you here with a bunch of stuff. Just some other automatable mail ideas.
Hi, Teresa. My name is Anthony Scornienci. I am representing the sellers of
I want to
2508 East Indiana Avenue.
I want to
I
hear it.
received a deed package from Lynn, the closing coordinator, for my clients to sign, and I was just calling to connect with her to see.
Oh, I wanted to hear it. It was pretty good. It's like it turned into a scripting call. Um, so other automatable mail ideas. The reason we're called Thanks.io is that we were originally sending follow-up thank you cards and postcards to people who check the home value on our site. So if you're getting Facebook,
As of play this
Google,
afternoon. Um,
fi-
there's some interest there. I don't,
let's get Joe muted
hold on,
too. Yeah.
there's a market analysis of that. And the sales in there
Yeah,
are in the
you guys hear me still?
335,
Okay. I'll talk over 'em.
330
All right.
resale,
Thanks for
three
checking
and a
out my
quarter.
website, postcards and letters. The idea here would be that if you generate a lead from a Facebook lead form ad, or it ends up in your CRM through FUB, you get like a Zillow lead or something like that. You can push the email address over to us, even if you don't have the address, and our system will match to that email address, and you can automatically send follow-up mail. So if you have a big spend for Google, Facebook, Zillow ads, definitely consider following up. FSBO and expired automations are a big one. People overthink this sometimes, but just a simple card out to a FSBO that just says, "Hey, are you still thinking about selling 123 Main Street? Please give me a call." Just something that invokes curiosity. They're wondering what you're calling about. Can generally get you a good response. Happy house anniversary cards. So we have a lot of people who will load up their past clients and sales transaction data into the Thanks.io system. And every year, 8 days before the house anniversary, a card can go out just saying, "Hey, it's been another year since you've owned the house. Get in touch if you need me." And then for recruiting, because I think a lot of people on here are doing agent attraction, this card can be very powerful. We have a gift card bribe option in the system that basically says, "Are you thinking about switching offices in the next year or so? If yes, scan the QR code to schedule a quick one-on-one chat with me, and I'll tell you a bit about what's all the great stuff happening at whatever company you happen to be at. As a thanks for taking the time to talk to me, you'll instantly receive a $20 Starbucks gift card downloaded to your phone." So we have the ability to give the gift card after the person books the meeting. So um, that's that. So lots of ideas shared very quickly, Will. But I didn't want to talk forever. Just wanted to whet people's appetite with what's possible here with automated direct mail.
Yeah. And this is exactly the idea, right? Like we're trying to teach agents, as a full-time agent, you should have five lead funnels, right? Part-timers, maybe three, but your sphere is always one, your social two. What are the other three? Are you doing hard mail? Are you doing open houses? Are you getting paid online leads? Are you doing expireds or FISBOs or circle prospecting? So this mail is one of a lot of successful agents use this to build a lead funnel. The main thing I want to say about all of this is that it doesn't matter how many lead funnels you have if you don't follow up, right? Um, it better leads is not the answer, better follow-up is. A lot of agents have all of the people they need in their database. They're just not following up with them well. So if you spend money sending out a mail campaign or you spend money running a social media campaign and you're not following up at least 8 times on average with all of those leads, you might as well just shred that money, right? It's pointless. If you know, you might get lucky and be excited about the one luck, but if you actually want to see ROI, you need to follow up heavily, right? So this stuff is great. It gives you the ability to follow up. But agents, creating this lead funnel is important. Following up with the lead funnel is even more important, right? But this is a great lead funnel. And I will share this. Nick is in here and we did something on one of his listings and he had a listing in Harleysville and it was a great story. Like he interviewed, there were 4 or 5 other agents that interviewed for the job. He got the job. He priced it, sold it for 70 grand over asking, like
Yeah.
cash, no,
830 sold for 9.
right. All the things every seller wants, right? So Nick decided after we closed, he put together a card and it was like a timeline of the events. Met with seller, went
Cool.
over like what our presentation is compared to the others. They selected him, listed for this, got this, sold by then, sellers got this, and it was like this great little piece to follow, like the story. He told a story of this listing, and that, I mean, you got a listing off of that mailer. I think that mailer cost us $300
Yeah,
or
something
something,
like that.
and
I closed that one on Thursday.
yeah. What was the price point on that?
850.
850. So that's, what'd you get? You get 3% on that?
20K.
Okay, so like, $20,000 off of a $300 mailer because he used, and I think you got a referral off those people too,
Right.
right? So like that's the thought process is you can find different ways to get creative with mail, but the ROI is nuts. I mean, 20 grand
Yeah.
on 300 is pretty nuts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've spent money on a lot of lead sources. I started using buying house values leads way back in the day. Spending this, even though it's slower and it feels harder, it's definitely the best ROI I've seen. I haven't done a lot of Zillow myself, but I have a feeling it can come close to the ROI there. Where you have these really high intent lead sources that do really well, and mail just can compete with them a lot of fronts. Does anybody have any questions, or Will, did you have something you were going to move into?
Yeah, so I'm going to share a social media lead funnel that everyone can use as well. So now that we've done hard mail, we're going to pivot to social media. And again, they don't have to be separate. You can run them both. But so just some ideas, some things you guys can use to build out your social media lead funnel. Some of this you might already know and do. Some of it you might be interested in adopting as well. Okay, so as you can see, I created this in ChatGPT, so don't blame on me if there's any spelling errors. But these are some of the things we do, and I recommend all agents do, just like we're recommending, not all agents. Let me take that back. Okay, if you're a brand new agent, don't spend thousands of dollars on mail marketing, right? I think Ryan can attest to this. If anyone's trying to convince you to spend thousands of dollars a brand new agent, that's a mistake, right? You need to boots on ground. You need to find the free sources so that you can build up. And once you make money, then start finding ways to spend money smart, correctly to earn income, right? Same goes for social media. Don't spend thousands of dollars boosting posts and trying to and running landing pages when you can just DM people for free, right? So do the manual work before you ever get into the spent work. All right. Uh, but again, the key to this is everything is in the follow-up. Okay. One thing we've done and I recommend is build a repeatable weekly rhythm, right? Understand when you're posting your coming soons, your new listings, your open houses, your under contracts, your educational, your community, and your personal brand, right? You should have a playbook and it should be scheduled out. And I'm not sure if anyone's, if you want to get really into the nitty-gritty, AI can do all of this for you. You can create it in Claude where you have content lined up and when it should be posted. People are using systems like High Level to schedule and post their content. This is something you could spend a couple hours on a Saturday or a Friday and have it scheduled out for the next week or the next month, right? So you don't have to spend a ton of time on this, right? But the goal is to turn attention into conversations, right? Every coach will teach you contacts equals contracts, right? So getting leads from mailers, getting leads from social media, and following up with it, the goal is to turn them into conversations which lead to contracts, right? And track everything. The amount of people I coach or I work with that I talk about who are your past clients. Like we don't have lists yet, right? You need to track everything. You need to be able to know if I say to you, how many transactions have you done this year? How many were buyer sellers? What are the lead sources for those transactions? How much money did you put into every lead source? How do you know if you're getting an ROI? I bet if you look back at the numbers, it won't um, it won't be as good as you think unless you track it, right? So understand, you're using social media to build trust. And this is something Ryan brought up, but there's this thing where if people see you on three different platforms, they get to trust you more or know you for that criteria, right? So if your face is on your sign and they're seeing you on social media and they're getting a mailer from you, and all three have your face on it, you've built credibility in that market, right? And in that person's head. You become the person they associate with that certain type of industry. So social media, mailer, sign on your or picture on your sign, uh, door knocking during an open house. Getting your face out there is important to your brand because this is how people start to recognize you, right? So capture the leads, create, publish, engage, track, and improve. Okay. Social media fits the whole marketing machine. So for our sphere, we use social media to stay top of mind. And how we do that is, and I can tell you it's effective because my friends will often say to me, I'm sick of seeing your head on my social media posts. Um, but what we do is we make 5 posts on our 5 video posts. Now you can do video, you can do, but I recommend the two you boost to be video specifically speaking to your sphere, right? So pick a topic, 1 or 2 topics every week that's specific to your sphere, things they need to know about. They can be seasonal, they can be, what's going on with the rates, what's going on with the economy, things of that nature that your sphere wants to know about. And record a quick video, 45 to 60 seconds. You can upload that entire custom audience to Meta, and you can run an ad directly targeting that custom audience, right? So every month we update that list of our sphere and our past clients, and we're running an ad. I'm spending $5 for a day for 7 days straight, and then I'm starting a new ad every 7 days, right? So we're popping up in front of our sphere constantly. And that's to stay top of mind because now they're seeing my face on social, they're seeing us, on the mailers, they're seeing us on the signs. That's how you build repeat and referral business, right? You can use social media to get for your listings and open houses, for events in your community. If you're if you're in a community and you want to become the name of real estate in that community, why don't you go on Instagram and search the most popular business in that community and look at all of the people that are checking in there and start interacting with them, right? You check in as well and you have something in common. Hey, I saw you like this place. Like that is an immediate contact to people immediately involved in the community, right? So instead of you trying to go put up a billboard, or which I don't know if anyone has ever told me they make money on billboards. So maybe I haven't heard it. You can go right to the source and say, "Oh, this is the popular restaurant in town. I'm gonna check in here and see who's been checking in and start following those people because those people are likely living and buying in your community because they're spending in your community, right? You can create an audience by hijacking other people's audiences, right? So that's another free way of getting your name out there without having to spend money, right? Um, Check out events that are happening and be a part of them. You can run ads for lead generation. And we've had agents that are very successful with converting Facebook ads. It's not for everyone, but if you're really good at follow up, it can be a great lead funnel. And the nice thing is there's no referral fee attached to that. Like you create those leads, right? Um, and so that's just some, and like Ryan brought up, you can also use this for recruiting or building out, your downline, right? Uh, for us, I pick one platform that we focus on. So we focus on Instagram. We repurpose everything we do on Instagram to Facebook. We do post on TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn, but our main focus is Instagram. That's just our strategy. You can be great at all, but I'd rather be really, really good at one and just okay at the rest. And that's because I don't have the bandwidth to be great at all these things. Maybe someday I'll have a marketing company that could do all of that, but right now, focus on what you can focus on. Right? Yeah. We'll do a little plug you guys at the end.
Yeah.
So understand something. There's 6 pillars of content: proof, people, property, education, community, and recruiting. Recruiting is our thing. You obviously, if you're an agent, you're a single agent, you don't have to do that. But your proof, and this is really important, and I think agents need to understand this. If you're an agent and you're doing well in your business, but you're getting online leads, that person is likely going to look you up, especially if they're a seller. They're going to look up, who's Jen Faust? Is she let me look her up and see what her online presence is, right? And if you don't have an Instagram or a Facebook or a LinkedIn that you're posting about real estate, you've lost credibility, right? Or a Google My Business page or a something online to give you social credibility, you've lost credibility. So when you show up, that person now has that ammo of like, well, we didn't see you anywhere online. Do you even sell real estate? Right? That is why it's so important to post. The the other thing is, especially if you're a new agent, people who knew you prior to real estate knew you as what you did prior to real estate. So before real estate, what were you in?
I was doing financial services. I worked for SEI Financial Services.
Right. Right. So Brett was in financial services before he got into real estate. And everyone that knew you as that.
Yeah.
So you had to rewire their brain for them to know you as the real estate guy, right? So one way of doing that is constantly posting your successes about real estate, right? So they're seeing you're having success. And with new agents, we're taught when we come into the business, call your sphere. Yes, do that. But the reality is your sphere is only going to have so much business for you right now. And most of them only know you as what you did prior to real estate. So you have to earn that credibility. You have to go out and work with people that didn't know you because they'll trust you faster and earn the credibility to show to your sphere that you're deserving of their referral, right? And by posting on social media constantly with your successes, you're proving to them that you are that person, right? Uh, okay. Any questions so far? I know I'm kind of running through this pretty quickly, but anyone have any questions about anything so far? No? Okay. Understand you need to have a weekly rhythm. Okay. So uh, some of it should be humor, not all of it. Some of it should be educational. I would say 60% of it should be humor, right? Like 60% of what you put out there should have some sort of comic point to it, or then about 20%, 30% educational, 20% educational, 10% posting about your listings and your solds, and then 10% call to action, Okay. It shouldn't all be call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. You should keep their interest because that's what people want. They want to be interested. And then you should parlay that into eventually, hey, if you're interested in working with us, here's how to reach out. Okay. Property content flow. And people say they don't have uh, um, enough content, you can make 30 pieces of content out of one listing, right? Like between the, I just sat with the seller and I have a listing coming at 123 Main Street. Anyone you know, you can send that to your entire database. On your way to the listing appointment, you can send an email. Don't do it in the car, of course. You can send an email to your entire database and say, hey, I'm meeting with this seller at 123 Main Street on Saturday at 6, and this is the details of this property. Do you know anyone that's interested? Wouldn't it be nice to show up to that listing appointment with three people interested, right? On top of that, you after you meet with the seller, you can post a piece of content. You can post all the content about leading up to the photo shoot. You can post content about the photo shoot, right? You can send out coming soon cards. This is just like before we've even listed, there's 10 ways for you to post about this listing. Everyone needs to know it's coming. And if you think you don't have enough content, you're just not thinking deeply enough about the assets you have to work with. Right? Understand collaborating with your photography company, your title company, your lender, other agents will boost your credibility. You'll get more views on your posts, right? So why not use each other to boost the views your clients, your posts get? It's important to grow, right? But understand when you're building out real estate social media, unless you plan on social media being your only lead funnel, which I do not recommend only ever having one lead funnel, put all your eggs in one basket, something happens to that basket, right? That's the same, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So, so basically, you should have at least three, but ideally five. But if you're building out a social media and you want to spend a ton of time on that, and I know Gary Vee is like all you need to focus 60% of what you do on social media. I don't believe that. I think it's a big part of your business. I think it's important, but I think it should be limited, right? You need to turn engagements into conversations. Again, this is a lead funnel to create leads, but without following up on the leads, you're doing nothing, right? So you need to, make sure people who are liking and viewing, you notice that, make sure you respond to comments, ask local questions in the DM, log them in your CRM, whatever that is, and follow up, consult, invite them to open houses. Do the things to engage that person, right? There are ways to boost social media posts so you can boost what's already proven it can work, like organic content. You can do ad content. You can do a landing page. You can boost your follow-up. You can use paid ads, and they're not super expensive. They can also be targeted locationally. As you start to grow out, you can start doing things like KPI scoreboard to measure behavior and outcome. This isn't something I would focus on if you're just getting started, but as you grow your marketing business, this is really something you need to pay attention to, the activity, the attention, the engagement, the growth, and the conversion. So you can build out a week of content in 15 minutes, right? And there's even simpler sites like Hootsuite that you can go and they'll post your content out for you over time. You can use more intricate systems like High Level. You can use AI. Claude has a pre-built marketing platform you can use that does co-work for you. The- don't overthink this stuff. And if you're like, man, this is above my head, just do what I do. Find a YouTube video that explains it like to me like a simple person, and I can follow it, right? Understand what your social media plan is. If you figure that out at the beginning of the month, you could plan out all of your social media for that month, right? And go through and have it all ready, and it becomes less stressful once it's done. I will say this, I kind of said it earlier, consistency beats virality. I don't I don't post anything with the thought I'm going to go viral. Right? I post it for constant engagement, right? Okay, so I wanted to share that. My name is Will Holder. Thank you, Ryan, for doing this. If anyone ever has any questions, Ryan, would you like to share where they can meet you in the chat or in the messages here?
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and also, Brett and Samantha are running or have a marketing company that can help with a lot of this called Ranks Grow. So if you guys ever want to reach out to them, if you don't want to build out your own marketing that's pre-built, you want marketing that's pre-built for realtors, they have an opportunity as well. Um, I'll open it up for any questions. Anyone have any questions or anything you learned or you want to share?
I got a comment.
Wait, I gotta.
I have a comment on all this is, we talked about direct mail to like throw like all the other touch points that go along with it. It's not just the one, direct mail card. It's like text messaging, email, retargeting. It's a whole series of different things that are important to do.
Okay. Yeah. The follow-up, right? Like even the follow-up marketing, right? It's super important. And if you're just doing one piece, you're not doing enough.
I I have 3 points.
Yep.
One, I can personally say I used to like think we had to like change our scenery or change the background or every time we were like recording content. I'm talking about whether I was filming Brett or doing something for myself. And then I'm giving you the shout out, like you throw that real t-shirt on,
Yeah.
you could probably make a year's worth of content in one sitting,
Yeah.
wearing that shirt, and no one gives a shit that you're wearing the same shirt every time. I used to think that mattered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are you
Actually,
laughing at me? Because you're wearing something new?
the first,
I'm so
first time in
glad.
like months I'm wearing a non-black shirt.
So
Yeah.
that's my one comment.
Yeah.
Like, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
That was kind of for the new people.
Yeah.
Claude does a really good job with Excel. I use every AI out there. I use Gemini, Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT. But Claude does a really good job with Excel. So if you're trying to track, I think it's worth it. Even if it's only for tracking your, return on investment, the stuff you were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. And then last is so many of the social media platforms let you schedule now. So
Yeah.
you really don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, I know some of them you have to post it that day, but like set a reminder on your phone and when you're having your first cup of coffee, post it. That's all.
Also, if you're like super introverted and you're like, I suck on camera and I don't like making video content, you can create an AI avatar, right? Like you can literally have an AI version of yourself and feed it the content. Like you could create, I know this is, we're going down a rabbit hole here, but you can create a marketing flywheel where your AI looks up relevant content, creates scripts, feeds it to your AI avatar, then that information gets pulled over into like a marketing platform that puts a background to it, and then that gets posted on your social media, and you don't record anything, right? So and this stuff isn't super expensive. Like some of these platforms are $11 a month. Like uh HeyGen is one. So there's so many ways. If your problem is that you don't want to record yourself because you feel weird about it, or and that's fine. Some people are introverted. I totally get it. There is AI that can replace you, right? And
There's
it's really, really good.
there's also a lot of high school and college kids who will just do like a short video for like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Say whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
Can we
hopefully
get
this
those
was.
college kids' contact info?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
daughter just started doing it for me. That's why it's on my mind. She's like, Dad, is there anything
Yeah.
I could do? I was like, go make me, you're a young pretty girl. Go make me a short. It'll do better than my content. And it
Oh,
does.
okay, send me her contact info.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll do.
Yeah. If anyone's ashamed of putting their face on social media, this is on social media. So you think you'll be fine. Yeah.
And just be
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's your voice, but
Yeah.
let it be about the house or whatever.
Yep. Awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun. This will be posted on our RealWorks YouTube as well as all over our platforms. Hopefully, you guys take this and build out some good lead funnels. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
St. David's